Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lau with Kenshan Crafts. Today I wanted to come on and chat with you guys about my experiences on fountain pen burnout, as well as fountain pen hobby as a whole, in terms of the joy that it brings to me and how I work with it so that I can avoid those feelings of burnout. So just before I go deeper into this, I just wanted to let you guys know that my niece, nephew, and my brother and sister-in-law, they're moving in to live with me for the next couple of weeks as they are transitioning to a new home. So you might hear some babies in the background, just a warning. I will try to edit those out as much as I can, but that's just how it is going to be for the next couple of weeks as I make videos for you guys. So I wanted to first start talking about what burnout is and how it relates to the fountain pen hobby. But before talking about the hobby, I wanted to share a little story about my own personal burnout, like in terms of things happening in my life and my job a few years back. So about 5-6 years ago, I was working 2 jobs. I'm a family therapist, so I also work with children, parents, and then my other job, I worked with adults and helping them with skills. And so I was very, very burnt out from one, just having 2 jobs, and secondly, there were a lot of things that I had to do that were not aligned with my morals, my goals in terms of what I wanted to do for people and in my life. And so there was a lot of factors that were pulling and pushing at me as I was working 2 jobs, with one being not so ideal for who I am, and then I was also in a relationship at the time too, and juggling so many things together, I was really burnt out because I was not seeing my relationship progress to where I needed to. That job was not progressing because I was stuck. My responsibilities and the rewards from doing those responsibilities was just not matching up. I was pretty depressed for that period of time. It was really hard and stressful and painful as well. I did let go of my relationship at the time, and then I also eventually let go of that job that was giving me a lot of stress. At that period, I was only then working as a family therapist, and I was still in the rut and trying to bring myself out from the effects of the burnout. And I was depressed. I had no motivation to progress in my therapy job. I had no motivation to do much in life. I didn't travel at all. I didn't do anything for myself. Burnout in the work-life balance situation is really tough, and it does seep into our hobbies as well if we don't learn to balance the factors that come in and out of our hobbies. Once I got rid of all of those factors that were causing me lots of grief and the depression that I was in, I was then able to look at what brings me joy, what makes me happy, because I needed that. I looked towards fountain pens and journaling and just self-reflecting, and fountain pens and journaling was definitely an avenue that helped me to get out of such a rut about 5 years ago. And so it was only 2.5 years ago that I've got into fountain pen. I started with bullet journaling as the main way to reflect and journal for myself, and fountain pens just happened to be a utensil to help me to journal. But on top of that, it was also very novel to me, very cool. It did spark some joy at the beginning. As I progressed in my fountain pen journey, I decided that I wanted to share my experiences and just my learning, my path to learning fountain pens, my experiences, my joy. I wanted to share that with the YouTube or the whole world, the community that I can reach out to, and YouTube was one of the modes to get me to achieve that. And so I think that having YouTube as one of the things that I constantly do buying new pens, trying new pens, loving the pens that I like, selling the ones that I don't like, because that's all really part of this hobby. It's not just a one-way road, because for a lot of us, we have to buy online and we don't even know if we're going to love it. And social media tells us, oh, this is beautiful. I took a gorgeous picture of this and you're gonna love it. Like, that's just how social media works. It's not how we want to think. It's just that social media puts these beautiful pictures, beautiful reels, videos, and we consume them because our brain tells us this is a gorgeous thing and this is gonna be great for you. And while that may be true, it's not always true for everyone. And it isn't necessarily an objective truth either. Social media is great at allowing us to see all these different kinds of pens and potentially see what we might like. But in the end, like, the best way to know is having it in our hands and trying it out. And so that's why, as I said, the fountain pen journey isn't a linear journey. It is full of constant zigzags. Part of those paths towards the zigzagging you will experience and bump into fountain pen burnout. I found that my burnout with fountain pens happened when I was seeking my grails, the pens that I put into my wish list. And as I was doing that, I bought 3 pens within the span of 2 months. And then I got to the ultimate grail sailor pen that I really wanted. It was the Ankara first anniversary with this gorgeous green finials and its white body with these gorgeous flower decal on the body. It's one of my grail pens for sure. But it was not a pen that I really needed as part of my collection. I didn't even put it into my wish list journal, which is the journal I want to manifest the pens that I really do love. That Ankara Sailor pen was being sold by Izumi Pens for $600. And it was around tax time, and I decided I want this pen. So I told Izumi, I'll pay you after I come home from work. And it was 2 hours later, and I went to do my taxes and found out that I owed tax money. This was around March. And on top of that, I was going to go see my partner in Canada, and we were going to spend the weekend together. We had a lot of things planned, and I just told myself, I don't think I should be buying this pen. That's $600, including shipping. $650 that I can be spending on my partner and myself. And then I also needed to save some money to pay off the taxes that I owed. That was my experience with Fountain Pen Burnout, is that I was digesting social media so fast. I wasn't processing it in a healthy way. Like my example at the beginning, there's a lot of factors that come in and out. And for this situation, it's social media pictures, FOMO, and the huge desire to have something that you don't have. I think something with human behavior, and this is where my psychology, I'll dive into my psychology a little bit here, is that we typically want things we don't have. Even though we love what we have, we're constantly not as happy because we don't have something else. So, for example, just a very simple example, if you have curly hair and you see someone with wavy or straight hair, you're just like, I wish I could have that. But then your curly hair is so beautiful as well, but you don't appreciate it as much because you see something else that you don't have, or that you don't currently have. And so I think that mindset is just very ingrained in human behavior, but we can learn to manage that type of thinking. And I wouldn't say suppress it, but just have a different way of thinking about what we don't have and appreciating what we do have. So, that was just a small example, but I know that I have said in multiple videos in the past talked about how to appreciate what you have through journaling and gratitude journals for your pens, scrapbooking. Those are just my ways of showing appreciation for what I have, so that I don't long for what I don't have, so that I don't feel all those negative vibes and energy, the the factors that come in and out that give me fountain pen burnout. I always go on these tangents. I am so sorry, but that's just who I am. I love chatting and talking. But going back to the idea that we consume all of the social media, but we need to process them in a healthier way. And so in order to do that, for me, I like that experience was a reality check for me because I had taxes to pay. I had a real life partner that I wanted to progress my life with. And in order for that to progress, I have to invest into that. And the investment includes money, time, and, obviously a healthy me. And so if I, just learning from my past experiences that I cannot make the same mistakes. And so fountain pens are just a part of my hobbies. They are not part of my more important parts of my life. They are a factor in my life, but they're not the, this is what I need to survive, right? We don't need fountain pens to survive. They are a way that bring us joy. And there's lots of things in our life that will bring us joy, but we also need to moderate what brings us joy as well. At the end of the day, if I choose fountain pens over my partner, I would think that that's a really difficult decision to make and that I probably wouldn't be too happy. So in that moment, I told myself, this fountain pen can wait. This Sailor $650 pen can wait. It is not necessary. It probably isn't even worth $650. But what is worth the $650 is spending my time with my partner and saving that money so that I don't stress over taxes later. That kind of thinking helps me to realize that I will be happier in the long run if I make this decision instead of buying this pen that will bring me a lot of satisfaction in this small amount of time. I would say that a holistic thinking of your own life and your future, just not just like your current future, but your far future, being able to think about that will help you to slow down because there's so much time left that you need to fulfill happiness for yourself. Happiness, contentment, and we have to realize that fountain pens, buying a fountain pen, wanting a new fountain pen that social media showed us is only going to fulfill a small portion of that timeline. So I encourage us to think about fountain pens not as the one and only thing in our life, but as part of what makes us happy, but then to think about the rest of the things in our life that does make us happy. Any fountain pen, no matter the cost, is not necessary, but it is part of our joys. No matter the cost, it's still important to think holistically. Is this pen necessary in your life right now? Do you have the budget for it? And if you do have the budget, then it won't really hinder your holistic plans and what's important to you. That's my thoughts on how I go about processing social media differently, is to just slow down and think about my own needs in my life at this moment. And this could be different for everyone. And so if you don't need to be thinking about this, then you're not hitting a point in your life where fountain pens become something that it shouldn't be, which is a hindrance, right? Fountain pens are meant to be a happy and joyful thing in our lives. And it is still for me. I find a lot of joy in my fountain pens. And so I will want to piggyback on what a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, my fountain pen friends, discussing about how recent videos have made us think that we should call our fountain pen collection, that we should only have 10 pens. But if you are a collector and if you are a user of fountain pens, then reducing your collection to 10 doesn't bring any joy. At least I don't think it does. So the amount of pens I have in my collection does bring me joy. I have learned to slow down on buying them because I only restrict myself to buying pens that I truly, truly love, because I only want to add more joy to my collection, to my life, not add more unnecessary things. Now, and I say that because it's a very subjective thing. Some pens are unnecessary for me, but to other people, it might be something that you want and you love in your collection. Totally fine. And that brings me to my next point is judgment. A lot of things that we do in the fountain pen community as human beings is that we compare ourselves to others. And we compare ourselves to ourselves, what we could have, what we, like I said earlier, we want what we don't have. And we compare ourselves to others when that is a very, very, I wouldn't say negative, but like it's not a helpful thing, a helpful way to think about your own journey in the fountain pen community. I also am responsible for my own ways of comparing myself to others. So like there's a lot of ways you compare. Like for content creators, you might be comparing yourself to other content creators with how their lighting is so nice, or how they are so great at editing, like lots of things that you can compare yourself to other content creators. And then when it comes to fountain pen consumers, like we're all consumers of fountain pens, we might compare ourselves to this Instagrammer who has 10,000 followers, who posts the most beautiful pictures of your favorite fountain pen brands, and they have like 7 or 8 of those pens together all lined up, and it's just so beautiful, and it makes you think, wow, damn, I wish I had that many pens, or damn, I wish that those are my pens, that I could have such a beautiful collection and take my own pictures. At the end of the day, it is not about the picture on Instagram or the video on YouTube. I want to perceive my fountain pen journey as a holistic way to make me happy. If I just want to fountain pen so that I could take a picture or a video and put it on social media so that people can see how beautiful my collection is, that is not going to bring me joy in the long run. And that is why when I do buy fountain pens, I am curating it to what makes me truly, truly happy. I only keep what makes me truly, truly happy. That doesn't mean I'm going to cull everything else to 10 pens, because I need more than 10 pens in my curation of fountain pens. So when we judge ourselves because we don't have this or that pen, I feel like it's a hindrance to our own fountain pen journey, into our mental health. And it is another factor that will increase your chances of being, putting yourself in fountain pen burnout. And the other coin of judgment is so, for example, like if I am at a point in my fountain pen journey that I like to buy expensive fountain pens, I should not be judging people who are just new or who are late into their fountain pen journey, who like inexpensive or like the pens that are not so expensive. It is not my role or my place to be judging them for buying the pens that they want. On the flip side, if you enjoy fountain pens that are on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of money, and then you see content creators reviewing or showing their collection of really expensive pens, and you're judging them for having so much money, or they're they're just much more well off than you, that's also passing judgment, because we don't know what everybody's financial or life situation is, and we shouldn't be passing judgment on each other for the pens that they love, for the pens that they choose to buy. That is their choice, it is their life, their money. And for me personally, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but I will speak for myself, is that when I was really, going back to my story, like 5 years ago, I was really depressed. I was not making a lot of money because I was working so hard, and the returns were not it. I was not getting the finance that I needed. And now that I am more well off, I am more motivated, I have worked my way up in my field, and I feel very happy with where I am in terms of my occupation, and I have the means to be able to get the fountain pens that I want. I worked really hard to get to where I am, and I choose to buy these more luxurious, expensive pens. Yes, I could choose to buy the less expensive pens, but that wouldn't bring me specifically the joy that I've been working so hard for. And so I think that everyone's choices in their pens, whether it's cheap or expensive, is completely valid and completely up to that person. They worked hard for where they need to be in their fountain pen journey. And I don't think that we should discredit any of that hard work just because their life is different from ours. And their choices are different from ours. So if you like an expensive pen, you go for it. You get it. And if you love your cheaper pens and you want to be frugal, you do that. It is perfect. I kind of, for myself, like to be in between. I like my luxurious expensive pens, but I want to be frugal and I want to buy the pen at a price that it is actually worth it. Because I think I'm going to make another video about this. I don't think fountain pens are worth the price tag that's on them right now. They are not. And that makes me really, really upset at the economy itself. And I know that us as consumers play a role in that, but that's not necessarily, I wouldn't say that it is that we should blame ourselves for fountain pens being so expensive, because there's way many other factors that are making it expensive than us buying them. Because, like I said earlier, I am someone that likes luxurious pens, but I will not buy it at the heavily marked up price that is being asked. Now, if you are someone that don't care about that and you can afford it in your fountain pen journey right now, you can afford it and you're okay with that, that's perfectly fine too. Just for me, I like to be frugal with my expensive pens. So yeah, circling back, I highly, highly encourage everyone to not pass judgment on each other, because in this fountain pen journey, we all are on this same road that winds all over the place. We're just at different parts of the road, and we may be on the same area with some people, and some other people might be at a different part of the road, but we're all still being able to chat with each other about our love for fountain pens. And I think that's what really connects us all together. It's not that this person has that pen and I don't have it. That doesn't connect us. What connects us is that we love the fountain pens we have. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And so love your $32 TWSBI, love your $500 Visconti, and talk about it with each other. And that's how I feel like I want to experience, my experience to be in the fountain pen community, is that we are not judging each other for the fountain pen choices that we make. Again, this Fountain Pen Burnout was started by Penboy Roy, and I want to thank him for making that video. I think it was really timely for me. It probably isn't timely for a lot of people who are not experiencing fountain pen burnout, but I did resonate with it, and I wanted to come on here and just give my piece on it all with you guys. And if you resonate with any of these points that I made, do put them down in the comment section. I would love to read how you guys are experiencing your fountain pen journey, your burnout, how you deal with it, or if you need help dealing with things. Yes, put them all down in the comments. I would love to read. I read every single comment, you guys. You know already. And I appreciate all the beautiful comments that my lovely viewers, you guys just, I'm so happy when I read thoughtful and caring and just bright messages from every one of you guys. And then, of course, there will be some more direct and harsher comments, but I do try to put on my perspective lens of everyone is here to learn and is here to discuss and have conversations. And so I try my very best to respond to every comment as neutrally as I can and as positively as I can, because I do want to foster a very positive fountain pen experience and community with my through my YouTube channel. that is where I'm at with my fountain pen journey and my experiences with fountain pen burnout. I find that I can avoid fountain pen burnout the best when I'm able to set fountain pen aside and not think of it as my life, and think more holistically about the things that are really, really important in my life and whether or not that fountain pen makes a big difference in my long-term life. So yeah, thank you so much. I totally appreciate you guys for sitting with me and talking through this topic. Again, it is a heavy topic, but I am still very, very, very satisfied and happy with my fountain pen journey. I find a lot of fulfillment in what I do with my YouTube channel, with my affiliates. It makes me very, very happy. I am not experiencing the fountain pen burnout as much or as often because I do find fulfillment, and it is rewarding for me. So, and part of that reward is because I have you guys as the community to connect with and to support me in my channel. So again, I want to thank every single one of you who use my Atlas code. I'm also a Pen Boutique affiliate as well. So if you've been using my Pen Boutique discount code, thank you so much. I am noticing and I am always thinking about you guys who are using my code. Without you all, I would not have as much fulfillment in this hobby and in being a content creator. So thank you again, everyone, for the support and the love that you guys, that I see from you guys. Whenever I see a pen go on sale for a really, really discounted prices, you bet I am going to show it to you, because like I said, I'm frugal with the fountain pens. I do not think they should cost what they cost, and I will share with you when they are so cheap that they are worth it. So yes, that's the community that I want. That is what brings me joy, and that's how I combat fountain pen burnout. And I hope you all will be able to combat your fountain pen burnout too when that happens to you. All right, well, until the next video. That's a lot of blabbering, so thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Bye.